Oh, Blues versus Chiefs Super Rugby 2024 final, guys. What a match. Now, before the game, I did predict the Blues to win this by 15 points. I just thought, and based off previous weeks, to me, they're the most accurate side in Super Rugby. They're brutal on attack, and their defense is just so hard to crack. So I thought it would be a tough ask for the Chiefs. Didn't that game start real quick? Oh, the intensity of that first 10 minutes, the speed. Oof. And then obviously there was an early shot at goal by Damien McKenzie, just missed. And then the Blues went down the other end, a pretty good try to Kida Ioane. And then at that point, I thought, yep, the Chiefs are down the other end. They need to respond, and then it's game on. Ultimately, the Chiefs got some phases together down the other end. Yeah, but they couldn't convert the try. And that almost summed up their night. They just were just not quite there, were they, guys, the Chiefs? Halftime scored 20 points to 3, and I just thought that the Blues were just going to be too tough tonight. Ultimately, they seemed to up it a notch, didn't they? And the Blues' physicality just sort of blew the Chiefs off the park. Full-time score 41-10 to the Blues. So, talking points. So, the Chiefs. So, what went wrong with them, guys? And let me know your thoughts in the comments. But I've said before, to me, it was their attack was the big one for me. I've said before, it's very predictable, their attack. That Cortez Ratamata, D-Mac, and then out the back, or they hit a forward and a pod. It was very pod-oriented, and then to another pod. Very predictable. Not enough pick and goes, in my opinion. Yeah, and against a quality defensive side like the Blues, when you got a predictable attacking style like that, it was going to be a tough day at the office. Ultimately, as well, I just thought they weren't accurate enough in the big moments. There was a couple of times on attack, the sort of 12, 13 phases, and then there'd be a turnover or a forward pass or they'd drop the ball. In those big games, it's those big moments where you have to be clinical and accurate, and they're just a little bit off, guys, weren't they? Just thought that maybe this was their predictable attack, but I just thought they lacked a little bit of firepower in the forwards, particularly Samapini Finau and Tupu Vai. Yeah, they didn't seem to make the meters that I thought they would. So, Another point though, Damien McKenzie, guys, and let me know your thoughts on him. Now, I've said before in previous videos, if he's going to be the starting first five for the All Blacks, he cannot just be a good Super Rugby player. He needs to be the best first five in the world in 2024 to be the All Blacks first five. Now, based off his performance last night, I have some real concerns and I just don't think that performance last night is the performance of the best first five in the world. Particularly, my concerns around Damien were particularly his defence. A number of times, look, and I'll be honest, I was yelling at the TV. Particularly, there was a number of occasions where just simple missed tackles that I would have thought an All Blacks first five would make. And then a number of occasions, either a Tuipulotu or the Blues second five with a big ball carry. And Damien he'd either be tackling him high, and then the guy would just pump his legs and make another about 10 metres, and then the Blues are over the advantage line, and then they just spin it wide or, it really gets their attack going. Or he'd tackle him around the legs, and the Blues player would still get that leg drive going, and they'd still make 5-7 metres. Just Damien, chop the legs, like stop him then and there. That's what we expect from an All Blacks first five. Particularly some of his kicking, look again. He's a quality footballer. He's dynamic. He's explosive. But I just thought in the big game last night, either his chip kicks were too long, or the cross kick was too long or too short, or he's kicking downtown. It would go again in the wrong area, left or right, just a little bit off. You cannot be like that to be the starting All Black first five. And I just thought, look, his passing was okay, but his game management, did he really drive the Chiefs backline really dynamically? I don't think he did. So, yeah, I've got some concerns about him, guys. Let me know your thoughts. But particularly the concern with Damien is, look, if I can spot some issues with his defence, imagine what the England coaching staff are going to see. Particularly if Maro Itoje for England runs a hard line against Damian McKenzie in a couple of weeks. Good night, nurse, isn't it, guys? That England attack could carve the All Blacks up if he's defending like that. Looking at the other Chiefs players that I thought would have been better, again, I've said Tupu Vai and Samapini Finau, just their attack. They didn't make the meters I thought they would. They didn't defend aggressively enough and really drive that Blues pack back the way I thought they would have. I think you'd have to say, guys like Patrick Tuipulotu, Sam Derry, Hoskins Satutu well outplayed them, didn't they? The physicality that they brought, particularly Patrick Tuipulotu, coming back from a knee injury, that's the best I've seen him play all season. And looking at him, the meters he was making with his ball carries, you go and you'd almost, I would, based off that performance, I'd put Patrick Tuipulotu as a starting All Black lock with Scott Barrett. Yeah, look, a bit of pill to swallow. I was thinking about it last night before I went to bed. I was in a bad mood. Would have loved the Chiefs to win, but look, the Blues were far too good, weren't they, guys? Well-deserved winners, so congrats to the Blues for winning the Super Rugby competition in 2024. Guys, we're now on to the All Blacks vs England series, and look out for my next video coming up on why I have some concerns, and I think that England can and will unfortunately beat the All Blacks. Guys, if you've enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and add your comments on the match. Cheers.